Right, gathered here today, obviously it's NAIDOC week this week, a huge celebration for our First Nations people in this country. Got the boys here today. We'll get some questions out of the way, ask some questions, have a general chat about, NAIDOC week and the significance of it and what it means to us. So we'll jump straight into the first question. So the first question is, what is NAIDOC week and what does it stand for? So for myself, NAIDOC week's all about celebration and just celebrating us as a race, us as a people, the fact that we're still here and we've survived some pretty horrific injustices from settlement in this country. I think for us to still be here and to be able to celebrate NAIDOC week and celebrate our culture is very, very important, very, very powerful, and focus in on further educating the rest of the country. So that's a bit of what it means for myself. I'll open it up to the other guys to have a chat about what it means to them as well.
For me, it's connection and culture, I reckon. I remember NAIDOC week in school, we used to go down the parade and all my mates used to ask questions, and it was a good way for them to learn and know about the past, and yeah, it was good. I used to really enjoy NAIDOC week, and yeah, that's what it was for me. It's just about connection and culture.
Yeah, and obviously another one was obviously teaching and obviously learning more about NAIDOC week. I think coming into when I was back in school that was a week I always enjoyed, obviously because you got your mates that were obviously not Indigenous, and they could obviously taste the feeds we have, and obviously learn about our culture and connect more. And yeah, that was when I was back in school, that was a week that I would always look forward to doing and enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me, NAIDOC week is celebrating our culture, my culture, and where I come from.
What does the theme for our elders mean to you?
For me, probably early days as well. We had Uncle Archie down in Victor Harbour, and he used to come into class and see how we were going, and I used to love it when he used to come in and have general chats to us, and he used to just pass down knowledge, and it was always brought a smile to my face seeing Uncle Archie come in the room, and he used to take over a lot when we were feeling down or whatever the case was. He was always there for us. So yeah, having him around the school and just outside general life was good. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think on that, I think it was more of I remember when Pop Trev and Pop Frank always used to come down and do the dig, and that was something I always enjoyed. And then obviously out down to Kathy, and then just learning from our elders what they went through in their past. And I remember all the storytelling that Pop Kevin used to tell me back home, and the stuff they went through is obviously very, very hard, and obviously to learn that and cherish those moments, and that's something I would never look back on. I'll look back on and put a smile on my face. So yeah, that's what that means.
For mine, it's they play such a significant role in our lives from a very young age. It's such a powerful statement to have the theme this year for our elders. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Without their fighting spirit, without them going through what they did to lay the foundation that we sit on today, to respect that, it's very rich in our culture.
How have your elders shaped you? For me, it was always with my grandparents. We always went out just out of town. It's not too far as well, so they just took us out, showed us how to fish, hunt, just go out for wild turkeys. Not only hunting and fishing, but also sitting around the campfire, telling stories.
Yep.
Just passing it through to the generation of our life, and then we pass it on to our future.
Learning from our elders, it's going to be, as Ash said, you're going to be passing that down from generation to generation. That's something the stuff I learned from my grandparents and my elders back in Northern where I'm from, it's something I'll pass down to my son, and he'll pass on to obviously his kids and whatnot. But yeah, the respect, you learn from it, like the hunting type, the storytelling. It's something that shaped me into today, where I've got stories I enjoyed listening to, and obviously stories I've got to remember. When obviously when they're gone as well. So that's a big one on me as well. Just the way they shaped us into it.
For me, elders that shaped me were, I'll go back to Boomerangs when I did that in 2016. I had a lot of good people that I did that with, and that was Paulie Vandenberg, and he helped me learn about some of the things I didn't know about my culture, and I always look back at that and think, I'm so thankful to have him, and he helped me look up, where my mob are, and I'll just always look back at that and be thankful. So
They, like I mentioned before, they really laid the foundation for us to grow off and to build on, really. Without them and them going through what they did generations before us to fight for equality and what we have today, that's really shaped, all of us, really. You break it down to each and every one of us, we all have our different stories, and that for mine, it's learn to live off country, and obviously, like Bob mentioned before, we're from the same place and family, very close family, so we can relate a lot on these kind of questions. But for mine, it's just that supportive role, just supporting us in whatever we want to do. Retired player now, but these guys are currently playing, but the support that we get from our family and our elders, it allows us to be able to do what we want to do, whether it's footy, whether it's education, whether it's a job or whatever, whatever we aspire to be and become, the support that we get from our elders and our family is second to none.
So how can we get involved in NAIDOC Week? I reckon music is a good one. So looking into Indigenous music, how it tells a story, it's definitely a good one.
Yeah, and I think another one is obviously getting involved is artwork. I think art tells a lot of stories, a lot of symbols, a lot of meaning to it. As we, when we do get out like a jersey done up or a pair of boots, it tells a story, and I think there's so many symbols that you can look from and tell a story. So get involved in obviously teaching the non-Indigenous our storytelling with the symbols, I reckon.
Yeah, the way I celebrate NAIDOC Week is, I guess, going out hunting, fishing when I'm back home, especially on holidays. I come back after holidays, and thank God for technology. I get to record these moments and bring it back in and show the boys, and I think that really helps me connect with my country while I'm away from it.
For mine, it's practicing my culture, which is hunting, food, artwork, playing the didge, all that kind of stuff that I've been taught from a very young age. And then for non-First Nations people, it's just continuing that conversation around, our culture and First Nations people and how we can best support each other. Unfortunately, there are a large amount of people in this country that still haven't had first-hand contact with a First Nations person, which, you say it out loud like that and you get pretty shocked by it, but there are people in this country that still haven't had a conversation with a First Nations person. There are people in this country that still, don't know the real history around the traditional owners of this country, the history of our people, which, the education isn't there, so to further that and to get that conversation out, I think media can definitely play a big role in that. Like Ashley said before, the technology, jumping online and researching and doing your own homework. Don't wait till NAIDOC Week rolls around, or in a footy sense, Doug Nicholls round. Get on the front foot and want to learn more. Want to take it upon yourself to better educate yourself. We all have our own family groups. We all have an extended friends list, and all this kind of stuff that we hang around with. Make it a topic of conversation to really get to the bottom of some of the issues that you might question but don't really know how to access that. But like I said, during NAIDOC Week, get to the events, actually have a conversation with some First Nations people and take in the messages that are sent. Do your research, do your homework, that kind of stuff. Further educate yourself, so then your kids coming through and like we speak on our cultural stuff, the next generation for us, we instill the cultural values that we have. For non-First Nations people, really instill in your children the want to learn, the want to understand more. You know what I mean? I think media play a big part in that. Too many times I think the negative scope is put on First Nations people and the issues we face as a people still in this country today. But the positive side of it is there as well. You just have to, make a concerted effort yourself to want to learn more individually. And then as a collective, we all come together and, we can move forward together and it can be so much better.
Thanks, boys, for, letting us and letting the world know, you know, what NAIDOC and for our elders mean. Yeah, thank you.